Welcome back to the channel where we explore, learn, and theorize about the Marvel Universe. Today I'll be talking about how Wanda breaks the multiverse in Doctor Strange 2, and how it affects the MCU, resulting in Spider-Man No Way Home, alternate versions of previously established characters appearing in Loki and Doctor Strange 2 confirmed, and how Sony will connect the SPUMC to the MCU. Now let's get started. HospicioNerd exclusively revealed that Wanda's first scene in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness starts when she hits a roadblock while searching for Billy and Tommy in the multiverse, and Josh Webb, a writer for the Marvel Report, stated that by Wanda using the Darkhold to find Billy and Tommy, it weakens the multiverse barrier, and that's how the Sinister Six appear in Spider-Man No Way Home. So like we've known for months, WandaVision, Doctor Strange 2, and Spider-Man 3 are connected, and as we can see, Wanda's journey to find her kids will be why the multiverse breaks, causing the events of No Way Home, and also making her the villain in Multiverse of Madness, at least in the beginning before she joins Doctor Strange, and they work together with America Chavez to defeat Shuma-Gorath. Next, one of the rarest things to ever occur has just happened. Kevin Feige flat out confirms something. Usually he gives an answer which leaves you with more questions, or is both a yes and no. He deflects the question, or he just sits there awkwardly. But now he's confirmed that we will see alternate versions of previously established characters in Loki and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, saying part of the fun of the multiverse and playing with time is seeing other versions of characters, and other versions of the titular characters in particular. Moving on, Charles Murphy interviewed Michael Waldron, Loki's head writer, and asked him if the animated sequence that details the TVA's history, a previous multiversal war, and the potential for altered timelines to create more multiversal conflicts might tease a connection to the famous Marvel storyline Secret Wars possibly being adapted for the MCU. And Waldron responded by saying, "We'll see. You probably know as well as I do that not everything is just in there. If the purpose of that whole thing was to just indoctrinate the audience and everything, yeah, we'll see how this plays out in the MCU moving forward. And it's obvious that we'll eventually get to Secret Wars in the MCU, and while this doesn't confirm anything, this makes it seem like Loki and Doctor Strange 2 will start setting up Secret Wars, meaning that we could see the huge event take place pretty soon." And lastly, a user on 4chan claims to know how Sony will connect the SPUMC to the MCU, and while this isn't a plot leak, like always, take this with a grain of salt as it's coming from 4chan. And while things on 4chan have been fully or partially right in the past, it's by no means confirmed. But here's your spoiler warning just in case it is right. Anyway, the leaker starts off by saying Sony's plan that's going to start revealing itself after Spider-Man No Way Home is that all the Spider-Man mainline and spin-off films connect through a vast multiverse. The Morbius movie starring Jared Leto is not set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In fact, the film contains hints implying it shares the same continuity as Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. There's a sign calling Tobey Spidey a murderer, while J.K. Simmons appears looking like the Raimi iteration of J. Jonah Jameson, not the one seen in Far From Home. That brings me to Michael Keaton. Villains from the Raimi/Amazing Spider-Man films find themselves in the MCU. From what I gather, Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes is from the MCU, and tinkers his way into the Raimi universe. How or for what reason, I honestly don't know. Venom currently belongs in his own world with no concrete crossover plans. Yes, Sony wants Spider-Man to appear, but in what form? That's yet to be decided. They wanted to integrate Tom Holland's Peter in a Venom sequel, however that's not happening as Marvel Studios is getting to retain control over Tom Holland, and it's partially why Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are being brought in, as well as the multiverse. Sony will be able to use Tobey and Andrew and loosely connect their films to the MCU by way of No Way Home, establishing the Spideys in the MCU. This part is strictly guesswork on my part, but I believe that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man will be established as part of the Venom films. Tom Holland won't be, and since Eddie Brock is canonically already part of Tobey's universe, it makes more sense to place Andrew here. And that's all I know. I'm not privy to information related to Kraven or other projects, and I know that hearing this would make a lot of fans happy, especially since some of you really loved Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but I have a hard time believing that Marvel and Sony won't try to use the current MCU Spider-Man in some way, especially seeing how Vulture was in the Morbius trailer, but it's really anyone's guess as to what Sony and Marvel are planning and how they want to connect the universes or which version of Spider-Man they want to use. But let me know what you guys think about all this. Have you watched Loki yet? What do you think of episode 1? And what do you think of this plan for Sony to connect the SPUMC to the MCU? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and remember to wash your hands and stay safe.